Make sure you stay hydrated, Miss Kamen.
I don't understand. Why are you here?
You think maybe I could just keep the baby instead? Good.
In the Gaithersburg police station, which has burned down, investigators discover 7 charred bodies and a blood-stained book with the name Joven written on it. The scene shifts back 24 hours to Rebecca, who wakes up in an interrogation room. Confused, she asks investigator Lisa who she is and why she's there. Lisa informs her that the police found her unconscious in her car after she had consumed a significant amount of alcohol. When Rebecca inquires about a fine to leave, Lisa explains the situation is serious and she may face a long imprisonment. The narrative then goes back to the previous night, where Rebecca is out socializing. She receives a call from her friend Sarah, who shares the news that she has officially adopted a son. After congratulating Sarah, Rebecca notices Robert, whom she likes, and sends him a drink. Back in the present, Rebecca requests to use the bathroom. There, she sees wounds on her face, but doesn't remember how they got there. Attempting to escape through the window proves futile due to bars. After hearing a voice, she returns to the room, where investigator Avery offers her a donut and reveals he has assisted her before, despite her inebriation. He then locks away his gun in the office drawer, hinting at his intention to help her investigate further. When Rebecca inquires about investigator Lisa, she learns that Lisa is busy with another suspect. Avery then takes Rebecca back to the investigation room, where they can watch CCTV footage of Lisa interrogating Robert. Avery asks Rebecca for her name and birthday. She responds that her name is Rebecca, and she was born on April 20th, 1987. The footage shows Lisa questioning Robert, who claims he spent time with Rebecca in her car and heard her drive away quickly after they parted. After Lisa concludes her interrogation, Rebecca denies Robert's accusations, insisting he must have poisoned her.
I know this guy. What if he drugged me?
And stating she is willing to pay a fine for her release. Lisa informs Rebecca that the front of her car is damaged and has bloodstains, suggesting she hit someone while intoxicated. She then takes Rebecca to the cell with Avery beside her. Lisa reassures Rebecca about being in the same cell as Sully, who is only a fugitive and poses no threat. She also mentions another inmate, Jess, who comes from a wealthy family and was arrested for her criminal associations. After leaving Rebecca, Sarah arrives and requests to see her. When Sarah reaches Rebecca, she asks if she's okay, to which Rebecca replies that she isn't. Sarah then asks about Brandon, and Rebecca tells her he is with a neighbor. Sarah pulls out a chocolate bag, obscuring the brand name to reveal only the letters spelling fugitive. At that moment, the investigator informs Sarah that the visit is over. Later, in the investigation room, Lisa tells Rebecca that a body was found on a bike near the location of her arrest. Rebecca requests sedative pills, but Lisa denies her. She then insists that she will only speak in the presence of her lawyer. Shortly after, Rebecca is in her cell when Isaac arrives. He informs her that her lawyer is unavailable for the investigation, and she refuses to proceed without her. Isaac explains that the lawyer is on leave and has entrusted him with handling all her cases until her return. He provides her with his card and reassures her, stating that he will be present during her investigation. Investigator Avery presents photos of Rebecca's car, which clearly show signs of a collision along with the victim's blood. When Avery asks Rebecca if she still insists she doesn't remember what happened, Isaac interjects, stating that his lawyer has confirmed her lack of memory and that there is no concrete evidence proving she hit anyone with her car.
Forensics is going over it at the impound lot.
Rebecca then suggests that they should request a DNA analysis from the crime lab, as she might have hit a wild animal rather than a person. She asks her lawyer to review the crime lab report, to which he responds that he will go and examine it himself right away. After leaving the investigation room, Isaac takes Lisa and Rebecca to the cell. There, Sully attacks Jess. And when Lisa intervenes, he turns on her. During the struggle, Lisa's gun falls, and Sully tries to hit her. Lisa urges Rebecca to shoot Sully. But when Rebecca fires, the bullet goes through Sully and hits Lisa instead. Just then, Avery arrives, rushing to Lisa, but she dies in his arms. Avery then takes Rebecca back to the investigation room and warns her that he will report the incident, which could result in a life sentence.
What'd you say?
I'm gonna get blamed for this.
She protests and offers him a bribe of $1 million, which he refuses. She raises her offer to $1,200,000, but he demands $2 million. She can only offer $1.5 million. Avery takes her to another office, gives her a laptop, and tells her to transfer the money to his account, saying he will be back soon. After he leaves, Rebecca notices his bag on the desk is fake. Suddenly, she sees a lawyer chasing after Avery, realizing something is amiss. When Avery returns, she takes the gun from him
I don't deal with bullshit artists.
Okay, look.
and accuses him of using a fake name and being part of a deception involving Sarah. When Avery claims to be a police officer, she shoots him. She then realizes that the bullets are fake as well. At that moment, Robert enters and zaps her with an electric shock, causing her to lose consciousness. It's revealed that Avery and his accomplices are part of a gang trying to deceive Rebecca, with Avery as their leader. Lisa, who survives the encounter because she was shot with fake bullets, is engaged to him. Suri, meanwhile, is Jess's lover. Avery expresses his frustration with them and points out that the only real gun is locked in a drawer in the office. He instructs them to act professionally to complete their mission and collect the money they agreed upon, mentioning that they will have to resort to an alternative plan. Avery opens the drawer, retrieves the real gun, and we see Suri drinking coffee before they all head to the investigation room. Avery introduces himself to Rebecca as a childhood friend of Louise Stanton. He claims he knew about their relationship and accuses her of being responsible for what happened to him. He confronts Rebecca about her ignorance of his marriage and recounts how, when she learned the truth, she asked Avery when he had killed Lewis. She insists she loved him and didn't harm him, but Avery doubts her, convinced she killed Lewis and took him from him. He recalls a day when Lewis left her at home, looking scared and claiming someone was following him. He had given her the key to his safe at that time. The next day, Rebecca learns that Lewis has been killed. She recalls that when he gave her the key to his safe, he mentioned being betrayed by someone close to him. Avery becomes angry and dismisses her comments, demanding that she hand over the $8 million she supposedly stole from Lewis's safe. He tells her the safe only contained $2 million and suggests that whoever burned the office and caused Lewis's death might be the one who took the missing $6 million. This leads the other gang members to start questioning Avery, as Rebecca hints that a notorious criminal named Jovan is known for stealing from victims and then burning their homes to eliminate any evidence. Rebecca tries to convince them that Avery could be Jovan, which only angers him further. He orders Sully to proceed with their original plan. Sully retrieves torture tools used by the gang and brings a torch close to Rebecca's hand. However, he soon feels fatigued and accidentally drops a small torch. Avery then gives Sully a new type of drug and tells him to return to the office once he feels better. They all leave the office, and Robert asks Avery for the torch to use on Rebecca in order to gain her trust. Avery hands it over, while at the same time, Rebecca picks up the torch from the ground. When Robert brings Rebecca the medicine, she thanks him and asks him to let go of her hand so she can enter the bathroom. Avery returns, takes the key from Robert, and releases Rebecca's hand to escort her to the bathroom. Just before she goes in, a coffee machine falls, and Robert helps her. Inside the bathroom, she uses a saw to cut the wire on the window, but Robert enters before she can escape and becomes angry. In response, she holds the saw to his neck and demands he lets her go. At that moment, Avery appears and aims his gun at them, telling Rebecca that she is mistaken if she thinks he cares about Robert. He then shoots Robert, who falls to the ground as Rebecca falls as well. Avery continues his actions and calls for help. Isaac insists they need to get Robert to the hospital immediately. Avery then takes Rebecca to the investigation room and orders her to lie on the table before returning to his gang. He instructs Sully to finish off Robert, and Sully complies, killing him. Afterward, Sully mentions he'll go get some coffee. A short time later, they all gather in the investigation room, where Rebecca warns them that Avery will kill them one by one to eliminate any evidence, asserting that he is the notorious killer, Jovan, who burns his victims after stealing from them.
Pick them off one by one. Is that your plan?
Avery becomes furious at her accusation, and Sully claims he will make her confess his way while he pours himself another cup of coffee. Suddenly, he collapses and dies.
Breathe
causing Jess to faint in confusion. Lisa tries to comfort her, while Avery and Lisa move Sully's body to the cell next to Robert's. Once back in the investigation room, Avery instructs Jess to continue Sully's mission. She retrieves the torture tools and bandages, inflicting pain on Rebecca by removing a tumor. Despite her suffering, Rebecca tries to maintain her composure and accuses Jess of Sully's death, claiming Avery drugged his coffee. This angers Jess, and she lunges at Avery, but Lisa stops her, insisting that Rebecca is trying to create division amongst them. Avery then gathers everyone and leads them to the second office, where he warns that Rebecca is trying to turn them against each other. He tells them they have just 1 hour to complete their mission, and reveals he has another task for them. After addressing them, he returns to Rebecca and threatens to kill her friend Sarah if she doesn't comply with his demands. Just then, Lisa enters with Sarah. When Avery threatens Sarah, Rebecca remains defiant, stating that Sarah refused to join them despite their financial offers, claiming, "I'm not my friend's keeper." Avery responds by burning Sarah's leg with a fire and then aims with a gun at her head. He tells Lisa that there's no need to kill Sarah, revealing that Sarah knows about Brandon, the child she adopted, who is actually Rebecca's son with Lewis. He accuses Rebecca of abandoning her son in a nursing home to avoid responsibility, while she lingered in Gettysburg to track down the family that would adopt him. When she learned that Sarah would take Brandon, she approached Sarah and her friend to keep tabs on him. Avery praises Rebecca's cleverness, which leads her to thank him and plead for Sarah's life. Rebecca then reveals that Rebecca is not her real name, prompting Avery to realize she is the notorious criminal Jovan. He writes her name in blood on the wall and ignites the area. She escapes, takes her son, and drives away, placing a gun in the dashboard. Inside her car, there's a substantial amount of cash and numerous fake identities. She selects one and drives off, evading the police to start a new life with her son. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.